who did you view as the best rappers before you really, like, who were they to you then?
The label that I was on.
Oh, really?
Yeah, listen, that's what I heard. Like, I knew, here's the thing. Okay, let me go back a little bit. I loved Kumo D. I loved LA Sunshine, Treacherous 3, right? When Rappers Delight to me was that one song that everybody loved. So, that was our record, the hip hop first commercialized record. Love LL Cool J because he was so bold. I love the Beastie Boys because they were so dope, like different styles, all three of them. And I love Tila Rock. Who else was back then? There was so many.
Yeah,
of course, Ice-T. Slick Rick, forget about it. I am so mad that I had the master tape. Back then it was master, obviously the real, and then it was the metal master tape, because you would mix down to the master for the press, for the vinyl. You would mix down the 2-inch to the 1/2-inch for the album, the vinyl. But then for the cassette, you also had another master, and I had that Slick Rick master, and Russell had given it to me. And I moved, and somehow within the move, that master was gone, and it was crushed. And that was Slick Rick's first album. But Slick Rick was like the best rapper to me. I was like, oh my God, this guy is crazy. The best storyteller ever. LL Cool J, Dope MC, Jack the Ripper, King Hercules, Professor of Death and the Seven Seas, all of that. Like, you're not battling LL back there. He's battling 2 or 3 people at one time. Like, what? Let's go. You know what I mean? Right. Like, come get it. And then, oh my God, how can I forget? Rakim. KRS-One, to this day. If you don't mention KRS-One in your top 10, you are lost it. And I'm talking about top 10 of all time. So people have an active top 10 or top 5, which means that we're talking about the people now in the last few years. And we're talking about, if you had to talk about rappers from all the way back then to now, come on. If you don't got KRS-One on your list, you are absolutely playing yourself. And you was born in 2010.
Well, that said, most of the people you named are extremely great at storytelling, and that's something that also is a lot of Daddy's Little Girl. Most of the songs are stories. So do you remember
Run-DMC? I'm so sorry, go ahead.
Well, do you remember why you were so big into writing your own stories instead of just like letting off steam, just more or less braggadocio? Why did you have so many theme-driven, story-driven songs?
Because that's what we did back then. If you just kind of like said, you almost like answered your question.
But there were a lot of songs at the same time. There was a lot that weren't that way though.
Look, friends, boom. How many of us have them? One love, one love. Everything was conceptual. Everything was. I mean, if you wanted to make radio, that was the thing. You wanted to make a big song, you had to be familiar. Like, you had to tell a story. You had to give people something relative. What can they relate to? Like, we can all talk. We can all go with Letting Off Steam, or we can all go with Jack the Ripper and Rock the Bells. But then, even Mama Said Knock You Out, which came later, was still like, even though he was bragging, it's still like his way of bragging about, where he was in his life at the time. But then you have the jingling, baby. Go ahead, baby. You still had things that people could relate to. He's talking about the girl, the regular girl next door. It's just kind of what it was back then. It was you had to do concepts, if you will. Not you had to, but that was where we were. Like today, like, who's really doing that?
Well, if we're going to use it that loosely per se, you could say like, I'm going to get high, and somebody could repeat that 7,000 times. That's a theme. That's a concept. It's just not a very detailed.
No, but it's not a story. Well,
yeah, it's not
okay. So then maybe conceptual, as in having a song that actually people could relate to.
So like Wasted, for instance. That's even though it's X-rated or whatever.
Right.
That's a concept, but it's also stories you're telling in there. It's not just. It's not letting off steam. And that's more of what I'm getting at, because It Takes Two is my favorite song, but that's not a concept. That's just him rapping.
No, it's a party song. You have party songs, you have conceptual stuff. Like, meaning that storytelling was the thing. Huh?
Ain't No Half Stepping is not a concept. song, but it's a great
Listen,
song.
it's a great song. It's a dope record. I didn't do party songs, if you will. I did, but I didn't. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay.
if you could put it on, Daddy's Little Girl was the most, and then it, you really bop into that because of the BPM, like the beats per minute. It's not a super fast record, but when it comes on, because I mean, again, it's analog, so it's gonna bang wherever you play it.
Right.
It's an arena record. It's not even a club record. We're gonna shut the doors with that one. But it just more like back then. It was more of storytelling, and I felt like everything needed to have. And that's, I think, and not for nothing, when I think about it, that's just how I used to write. Kind of high schoolish. Oh, the teacher's giving you a subject. Circle. All right. Money. What happens with money? You spend it. You waste it. What else you do with it? You have to make it. You got to work. You just put all these things in this circle, and then, you come up with the story. I always felt like there had to be, again, a beginning, a middle, and the end. So I believe that that's more so where it's at now that I think about it, because I always felt like I needed to write about something. It always had to be a subject matter that would have a beginning, a middle, and an end, which hence you get storytelling out of it,
Yeah. Now, one of the crazier ones on Daddy's Little Girl is Another Man's Beating My Time. That one, I remember.
Now that was just a fun. That's a one-off. So.
But what made you be like, man, I'm going to write a story about that?
Because you know what? Because I like club music, right? So in the track, I was like, okay, you must slow down. You must slow down, young girl. Running around paint the town. Oh, there's something that I got me hotter than a female hound. Who? Oh no, that was 18 and Loves to Go. Yeah, Another Man's Beat My Time is different. Okay, so Another Man's Beat My Time, again, more club songs, right? So I like that whole vibe. So Sid came up with that song. And I was like, and Russell was like, you need to do it because it's edgy. That was one that it was like, just do it. It's an edgy record.
Okay.
We need something different. It had nothing to do with me or anything I had experienced. Remember, I was young. Who the hell is beating my time or anybody else's time at that point? But that was just because 18 and Loves to Go was one of my jams. So I love that one. But Another Man Is Beating My Time was a little bit raunchy, a little bit out there. Even for then, you know what I mean? And even for hip hop then. So like you said earlier, a lot of that stuff is way ahead of its time because pretty much you're there right now.
I'd say so. So then, unfortunately, you had all those problems and stuff. But then how I had heard or read back in the day that you had done a second album with either all of with Bomb Squad or majority of. So why? So I know Eric Sadler worked with you on Daddy's Little Girl, but then how or why did they do an entire second album instead of working with Sid Reynolds, Large Professor, Leaders in Music?
Because I heard America's Most Wanted, Ice Cube, and I was like, I want to do that. Ice Cube, America's Most Wanted was so dope to me. And me being, the thing about me in hip hop, I love it all. West Coast, East Coast, South, mumble, spit. I don't care. I love hip hop. If it moves me, I'm moving with it. And when I heard that Ice Cube had done his album in like 30 days, because he was hot off I'm not rocking with them no more. He was hot off that. So it was like, hey, he did what? With who? 30 days? Where? At Green Street? Here in New York? Okay. So I was like, play the album. And I heard the album, I was like, because I heard it before it came out. And I was like, oh, that's hard. That's hard. So I said, y'all got to do my album. So we started putting together tracks right then and there. We just decided that's what we was going to do. And we did a whole second. I have the second album here. Never came out. And the reason it never came out, a lot of, again, label stuff, crap. Me deciding I wanted to just walk away at that point because I was like, I'm not happy. This is not going any way the way I wanted it to go at that point. We get ready to shoot the video with Erica Alexander, who was playing Max on Living Single. She was the director for the song, I think it was Third All By My Lonely. They had given Flex back then a tape of all the new Def Jam records that were coming. Mike Kaiser was the promo guy. He's still promo guy over at Atlantic. So they gives Flex a tape. All the artists on Def Jam. We outside one day, me and Apache, and we're outside was my boyfriend at the time. We were together for quite some time. So we were outside just chilling in Jersey City in the hood, and we just like, we're out there doing our hood fab stuff, our BMW out, all doors open, radio playing, Hennessy. We set the scene for you. We doing it. Everybody's outside chilling because we still always did stuff like that. And then I hear the song on the radio and I was like, we didn't put that out. So I called Kaiser. I was like, yo, Flex is playing my song. He was like, he is? He said, I gave him everybody. Why is he just playing your song? I said, because he likes my song. So the song was Dirt All By My Lonely, and Flex loved it. That was the one we were shooting a video for. Single was ready to go. Little red tape there at Def Jam. It never happened. And I asked to be released, and Russell was like, you sure? I said, I don't want to be anywhere where people don't respect what I want. I was like, it's just too much for me to feel like I'm already up against the wall when I want to do certain things. You guys won't let me. Now we got the single coming out, and it was a matter of a little bit of money here, a little bit of this there. It was just, to me, it was like, it was unnecessary. It was like I didn't have any control. So I felt like I needed to just walk away from something that I didn't appreciate. But I'll say this. Go ahead.
Well, go ahead, because I won't forget my.
No, I'll say this. Looking back, I probably would have go ahead and done what was to be done then, so that I could have got a little bit further out and then have more control over my career then. Because sometimes you have to pick your battles. So that's all it was. I think I might have picked the wrong battle when it comes to putting out the next, when it comes to whatever that beef might have been back then. I think it was just the wrong battle.
So then I was confused of the chronology of all this, but so then did you sign the Flavor? I was under the impression from reading credits, like when Freak Out came out from the Rolling with Flavor compilation, that you were still on Def Jam when you were with Flavor Unit.
No, okay. I was. I just did a song with them. That was their compilation. So it's like, you have an artist going another, it's like doing a soundtrack. So I did the Flavor Unit compilation. And because we were all close, Russell and them never ever was like, you can't do stuff like that. Like, that was never an issue. Okay. We were always able to work together. So it was after I left Def Jam, where Flavor Unit was management at the time. I hadn't had management all that time, believe it or not. And when I decided to go ahead and be managed by them, yeah, it just kind of like, it didn't happen. I'll say that.
So with Flavor Unit, obviously Apache was there as well. So how did you guys, because you both had big songs, but you also both didn't go platinum or anything. So how did you guys learn from, support each other, help each other out, navigating the chaos during this era?
Yeah, it was a bit touch and go. We definitely always supported each other, just like you said. Even with Gangster Bitch, we wrote that together. So people wouldn't know, that we did, but we did. It was like Q-Tip gave him the track. We had to go to the studio that day. He was like, come with me. And I was like, okay. So we're on the, we actually took, because we lived right outside of the Lincoln then, because before we lived outside the Holland after we moved. So right outside the Lincoln. And we always used to take the bus in because we didn't like to drive like just right through the tunnel. So we always hop on the bus. There was a bus that went from Jersey straight to the city. So we hopped on that bus, we went in the back of the bus, and we both got like the Sony Walkman as a double headset or something. We had both listening to it. So I'm writing, he's writing, and then we still writing the hook. I'm not writing his verses. I'm there with the hook. So I'm writing the hook with him or whatever. And I was like, okay, here's my part of the hook. He was like, okay, good. I'm gonna put this with it, that with it, whatever. So we constantly were always with each other. Fun story. One time we went to a club, right? And Apache had studio time. So he was working on his album. And we were at the club. We were all there. Tupac. I mean, all of us was there. So it was like Tupac and who was the guys from Queens stretching them? What was the name? Murder Squad?
Live Squad.
Murder Squad. Live Squad. So bad. Sorry, guys. Live Squad. So we were all at this party. So Patrick's like, yo, come back to the studio with us. We're about to go there. We carry the party there. We continue there. So we all got back to the studio. And as I'm looking around, it just looked like we still at the club. So I'm like, yo, y'all gotta go. I was like, all y'all have to go. I was like, you gotta record and all of y'all have to go. And Tupac was like, sis, you kicking us out? I said, we gotta record. I said, we go from the club to the studio, but now the studio looks like the club. I was like, listen, I love you. I said, we all gonna hang out. We're gonna get back up tomorrow, or we get back up over the weekend. Y'all can come to the house, whatever, but we gotta record. And he was looking at Apache, and it was like, for real? He was like, yeah, I gotta record. So that was funny. But that was a fun fact. And anyway, it was all love though. They got it. You know what I mean? It was like, nah, we feel you. Because it was like smoke all over the place, drinks was back. I was like, come on. You know, and in studios, you can't do that. You can't be damaging the equipment with all that smoke and stuff all over the place. So, you know, anyway, we always supported each other no matter what it was. Like we were always together, frickin' frack. Like it did not matter. You see him, you see me. That's just what it was, you know? And when it got to a point where we just kind of grew apart, that's all it was. We just grew apart. And we just went our separate ways because after a while, you know, people just tend to grow in different directions. And that's basically what it was.
Right.
But and during the time of all that, we were always together. Didn't matter what it was.
Be sure to check out the History of Gangster Rap by Soren Baker. He's official.
History of Gangster Rap features exclusive interviews with Ice-T, Snoop Dogg, MC Ren, the D.O.C, and dozens of others. The History of Gangster Rap, a definitive look at how Los Angeles changed rap forever.
In Los Angeles, the streets definitely set the tone of the hip-hop music.
At 19, I got a $50,000 car.
My whole angle always was, I'll be street, but I will always tell you the horrors that go along with this life.
It would be penalties and casualties for just wearing the wrong color in somebody's neighborhood.
And once gangster rap made it from the streets to the TV, the genre exploded.
With Fab 5 on Your MTV Raps with NWA.
Yo MTV, it just catapulted us from being local heroes to national gangbang rappers.
The History of Gangster Rap discusses it all from 1980 up till today.
It's always gonna be shit happening in the streets. You know what I mean? So it's always gonna be something to talk about.
The History of Gangster Rap in stores now.